Well, good evening, and welcome back to another episode of Cozy Old School RuneScape Lore. It's the podcast where we explore the places, the people, the pieces of paper that tell us more about Gielinor, the land of old school RuneScape. And tonight we are doing another scavenger hunt where we start with some item, usually, and we follow the trail of entities, maybe activities, places mentioned in that item, and the items that we find from there. So I think what I'm gonna do is I'm at the Grand Exchange. I'm gonna world hop until I see an item on the ground, and that will be our item that we start with. Because people often drop items here. So nothing on this first world I hopped to, nothing on the world I started on. And trying another one right now. I don't see anything here. Let's go to another. It's taking a while to load. Okay, I'm on another world, nothing there. Okay, maybe this won't work the way I hoped it would. I'm going to go back to the world I'm typically on, my home world. That's what I call it. It's the world I'm most familiar with using. And still nothing dropped on the ground. I could ask for a free item, or I could just wait around until someone drops something. I really like the idea of being just something that's dropped here, and the funny thing is that usually when I'm at the Grand Exchange, there's so many items dropped all the time, but I don't want to wait indefinitely if there's just nothing going to be here. So I guess I can just pause and let you know when someone drops something, and then we can go from there. Okay, I found something. It is a butterfly jar. Someone just dropped this here, and if I examine it, it says it's got little holes on the top. Okay, so two things that come to mind is this could be a prompt to go catch a butterfly and put it in the jar, or it could be a prompt to go somewhere that has holes in the top. The thing I think of that has holes in the top is like a manhole. That would just lead us, like the nearest manhole would lead us back to the Varrock sewers. So I think I gotta go with the spirit of the item and go catch a butterfly. So let me see if I have a butterfly net in my bank. Oh, there's another item here. Oh, there's a bunch of items now. Oh, and there's a little bit of a drop party happening. There's a bunch of stuff. That's fun. Well, I gotta participate in the drop party by picking up stuff I can find. Okay, so here's what I got so far. Black elegant legs, orange boater, and spotted kebbit fur. We can have those as fallbacks if we can't think of anything to do. But I think I need to use my huntsman's kit to get a magic butterfly net out of. So the first place I can think of to catch butterflies is I need a Drayman staff. Is I think the Polar Hunter area. So let's go to the house, use the fairy ring, and go there. I think the best way to get there is a fairy ring. Oh, I have to be wielding my Drayman staff. Here we go, Polar Hunter area, fairy ring. And I'm going to wield the butterfly net. I don't even really remember how to catch butterflies, so I'm going to go with this and hope this is going to work. So, okay, I'm running across the isthmus to the Polar Hunter area, and there are some, like, glacialis, I think, butterflies up here. But I can catch, I think I might have even come here in a previous episode. I can't remember though. Okay, catch Sapphire Glacialis. Done. Okay. And I can use it. It would give me plus 16 defense. I didn't know that. I didn't know that those butterflies in particular had that effect. I knew that you could catch butterflies. Oh, there's also a snowy night butterfly that I want to catch, but I won't have a jar to put it in. I don't think. Unless I have another jar in my kit. And I don't think that one I just caught gave me any boost. Doesn't look like it, so I do have one more butterfly jar. So let's catch another, that's in my huntsman's kit. Let's catch a snowy night and put it in a jar. And then we have 2 items that we can choose from for our next steps. Okay, so Sapphire Glacialis, if I examine that, in the jar it says there's a Sapphire Glacialis butterfly in here. And the Snowy Night, oh, that's nice, that one restores your hit points. If I examine that, it says there's a Snowy Night butterfly in here. Okay, that is giving me something to go off. I'm thinking that I have to kill some kind of... I'm getting distracted by the landscape. I'll tell you about that in a second. I'm thinking that I have to go kill some kind of night in a snowy area. So I'm gonna look at the map and see if there's anything like that. Oh, okay, so I was distracted by the map, by the landscape, because there's these like steps that I can climb to get onto this iceberg. There's a hollow log here. This looks like a hunter kind of activity. If I inspect the hollow log, nothing seems to be out of place here. I think this is probably some kind of trapping activity. And if I go on the map, it says that there's a hunter tutor up here. Let's see what the hunter tutor has to say. I wonder if there'll be anything to go off there. If we examine the hunting expert, he must be good at hunting. Even his hair blends in with the surroundings. White hair on an iceberg. Okay, so this hunter is wearing like a mask or a helmet that's made out of what looks like to be like a saber-toothed, like, snow tiger. It's got like these big fangs coming out of it, and this person's wearing it on top of their head, and it's like it's covering up their eyes, covering up the top of their head. It's white fur, and there's no like eye holes, so it just looks like they can't see through it, and I can't really see their face. I just see they have a bit of a beard underneath it, so it's kind of funny. It's covering the whole top half of their head. Okay, so they say, this is a wonderful area for a spot of hunting, don't you think? I'm going to say, I don't know, is it? Oh, absolutely. There's a huge variety of creatures to catch around here. You've got butterflies, polar kebits, saber-toothed kebits, birds, and even coyotes. Surely one of those piques your interest? So this is just... Okay, I'm going to ask what's so special about butterflies. That depends entirely on the butterfly. I'll admit that the activities of many butterflies may be of no interest at all. However, we are lucky in having around here some fine examples of rare thaumic butterflies. I've never heard that word. These butterflies reputedly have magical powers that when released can make a person stronger or heal otherwise critical wounds. At this point I should offer a note of caution, however. It is also said that these powers will not manifest themselves if the butterflies are captured for selfish purposes. I don't know what that means. Rather, they are gifts that must be used by one person to aid another. Of course, you'll have to catch them first. Okay, so I think that means that it's like you can release them and they'll benefit people in I think like a 3x3 area around you, but I thought they benefit you too, so I don't know. I think it's just like this text, this kind of lore is encouraging you to use it cooperatively and not just for yourself, but the way it's worded makes it sound like something, like it's not going to work if you just use it for yourself. It'll only work on other people, but I don't think that's actually how it works. Anyway, I say, how do I do that? Why, with a butterfly net, of course. You should also carry some empty butterfly jars with you in which to keep the butterflies. How do I improve my chances of capturing a creature? The key there is concealment, both of yourself and your traps. Okay, that's not true for butterflies, but okay. There's a bunch more text there. Wait. It said, okay, this might be a lead. I'm going to go back through the dialogue. Butterflies. Depends entirely on the butterfly. Okay. How do I improve my chances? Concealment. Make sure you're a good few feet away from your trap. You can hide yourself even better by wearing clothing appropriate to the area in which you're hunting. Oh, okay, yeah. Your best bet is to use the skins of creatures native to the area. There's a very good tailor in East Varrock who may be able to help you with making clothing out of such skins. Okay, so first I want to go talk to that tailor. I know where they are. I'm pretty sure. In East Varrock. Okay, so I'm back in Varrock now because I teleported there. And I want to run all the way to the east, and then there's this little like fenced in section, and yep, there's the tailor shop on the mini-map. So let's go in there and take a look. Well, take a talk, because I want to talk to this person. Because I want to see if there's any interesting dialogue that I may not have noticed before. Okay, so it is Asif. Examine Asif. Sells interesting clothing items you just can't find elsewhere. So let's talk to Asif. Now you look like someone who goes to a lot of fancy dress parties. What are you saying exactly? I'm just saying that perhaps you would like to pursue my selection of garments. Or if that doesn't interest you, then maybe you have something else to offer? I'm always on the lookout for interesting or unusual new materials. Okay, there's a bunch of dialogue options. I could say, okay, let's see what you've got then. That would just be, I think, perusing the shop. Could you make another bird costume for me? I think that's from like Eagle's Peak quest. I think I might just leave the perusing for now, thanks. Can you make clothing suitable for hunting in? That's the one the hunting tutor was talking about, and I'm going to ask this one. What sort of unusual materials did you have in mind? Well, some more colorful feathers might be useful. For some surreal reason, all I normally seem to get offered are large quantities of rather beaten-up looking chicken feathers, which is a nod to how a lot of people get chickens in this game. People must have some very strange pastimes around these parts. That's all I can say. Okay, let's see what you've got then. Okay, then I just go peruse the wares. Stripy feather, blue feather, orange feather, yellow feather, red feather. Alright, well, I think that's it for this kind of lead. I do want to put my butterfly net back in my... Can I just use it? Yeah, I can use it on the Huntsman's kit, and it goes back in there. Great. Now I don't have any butterfly jars in there, but that's okay. Let's examine the other things we picked up. The black elegant legs. A rather elegant pair of men's black pantaloons. Well, anyone can wear them. Okay, let's examine the orange boater. Stylish. And examine the spotted kevet fur. Swap this note at any bank for the equivalent item. I can't even look at the kevet fur because it's in noted form. Alright, well, go back at the GE to turn it into the actual item. On note, yes. Alright, so now I'm going to examine the item. Maybe this is why people think furry dice make you go faster. Because maybe it's saying, oh, there's a game's necklace here I can pick up. And a staff I can pick up. So we got a bunch of leads. Maybe it's saying that, like, kevets are, like, kind of quick little animals, and so it's like if you have the fur, maybe it'll just make you faster. I think I'm going to turn that back into notes to save inventory space. So I guess the only way I can do that is by putting it in my bank and taking it back out as notes. Okay. And then we have the games necklace. Use the games necklace on the banker, on note, yes. And then we have the staff. Alright. I'm going to wield the staff because that is an item that we got during this quest. Oh, let me examine it first. Examine staff. It's a slightly magical stick. Okay, so now I've equipped it, and okay, the games necklace could take us various places, but can it take us anywhere where we might find like a polar knight sort of person? Let's look at the teleport options. Birth Orb, Barbarian Outpost, Corporeal Beast, Tears of Guthix, Wintertodt Camp. could the pyromancers at Wintertodt be a solution to the kind of clue of a winter night? I think I could. So I think what I'm going to do here is combine two items we got. The clues from two items we got. The snowy night butterfly, and then we're going to rob the games necklace and go to the Wintertodt camp. So now we are here. They used up the only charge on the games necklace, and oh, perfect! This is even better than a pyromancer. There's someone that I teleported right beside an NPC called a winter soldier. I'm going to examine them. It says he isn't really dressed for this weather. This person has like armor on, so maybe that's cold. Maybe it's made of metal. Let's talk to them. They say, I'm hungry. That's it. That's all they say. I'm hungry. Do we have to go back to the gnome? The gnome food delivery service? Is that what this is a clue for? I talked to them again. They say, sometimes I wish this thing would just escape. At least we'd have something to do then. That is the Wintertodt, which is this monster boss. That is like a manifestation of like the spirit of cold, I think. There's more lore behind it, but I don't actually know it off the top of my head, so maybe I should read around here. But yeah, so there's the mini game where you have to subdue it, and you get fire making experience, you get fletching experience, you get a little bit of construction experience. And so the soldier's saying like, oh, it's always being subdued, but if it would just escape, then we guards would have something to do, be soldiers. Let's see, do they say anything else? This could be worse, I guess. Oh wait, no it can't. Let's talk to them again. I'm hungry. Okay, so I think it's just repeating. Yep, it's just repeating the same things. So let's talk to some other NPCs here. Whoa, there's a winter toad. And when I examine it, it says a chili toad. It's like a white amphibian with green feet. Okay, there's someone sitting by this fire here. If I examine the bonfire, it says a great place to rest. And there's crates and tents around the bonfire, but I can't actually interact with any of them. I can examine the tent. Better than nothing. If I examine the crate, wonder what's inside it. Well, I can't actually interact with it, so I can't find out. Let's talk to Esther, who's sitting here. Are you here to fight the cold? I guess. Great, ask me anything you like about the bruma tree. I'm an expert. This is cool. I've never talked about the bruma tree with an NPC. I'm going to start by saying there's kind of three main options. I'm going to start by saying, tell me about the Wintertodt. Some would say that ice preserves while fire destroys, but no amount of fire is destroying the Wintertodt. That's a cold that will freeze the air in your lungs. Even the heat generated from burning the bruma roots only weakens it, and that doesn't last very long nowadays. Looks like an angry snowstorm to me, I say. What you see in that pit is not the Wintertodt at full strength. It never will be while the bruma tree still burns and the doors of Din remain closed. Tell me about the bruma tree. The bruma tree is what keeps the Wintertodt weak. The prison was built here by Din because of its usefulness against the Wintertodt. Some legends say that Zarek is the cause for the doors weakening, or maybe he made the Wintertodt stronger? Is Zarek really such a bad guy, I say? It's a known fact that he was interested in the bruma tree. For what purpose, there are only rumors. Regardless, the bruma tree definitely contains powerful magic. I've been studying the sap for years, and it has truly astounding properties. There's not many fires that burn green now, are there? What about gnomish firelighters? Or, for that example, your host Drifteray, would say, what about the fire of nourishment that I built in Weiss that burns green? But anyway, Esther just says ... So Esther doesn't like that I came up with another example of green fire. Okay, now I get to say, tell me about yourself. Me, I'm a member of the Woodcutting Guild. Oh, I am too, as an adventurer. More of a researcher, though. I'm currently tasked with growing a new bruma tree. How's that going? Poorly. I believe the bruma tree can only be grown in a freezing, cold climate. Okay. Well, isn't that here? It's just an idea, really. For all I know, it could be magic way beyond me, beyond even the pyromancers. That's it. That's all the dialogue options. I'm just going to say, see you later. Goodbye. Okay. Now there's Ish, the navigator here, and there's also Captain Colt. Let's talk to Ish. Be on your guard, friend. Tell me about the Wintertodt. The Wintertodt terrorized Great Corrend many centuries ago. It destroyed much of this northern land over many years before it was finally driven back into the prison. Why did it attack Corrend? No one knows for sure, but I have a theory, which is the Dark Altar. It felt the altar's power and wanted to consume it for itself. It wouldn't be the first time. Interesting. Tell me about yourself. I am Ish, one of the navigators of Piscarilius. It's the fishing town in Great Corrend. What brings a navigator up here? Lady Piscarilius has sent me here to keep an eye on the situation. She doesn't trust the other houses of Corrend, and believes something sinister is going on. Like what? I don't know, but I intend to find out. Alright, I'm going to say, what do you think of the pyromancers? I've heard stories about them and the things they have done over the years. Be careful, they can't be trusted. You seem a bit paranoid. Better to be paranoid than a fool. Anyone with any sense knows that the pyromancers are trouble. They say even Lord Arceus doesn't trust them. Well, that's too bad, because, I've done the minigame. The pyromancers are an integral part of it, and helping them is important, and you even get pyromancer, the pyromancer outfit, like pieces of the pyromancer garb from doing the minigame, and so, I don't know, I feel like there's an important collaboration between adventurers and the pyromancers, so I don't know the source of Ish's issues with the pyromancers. I'm just going to say I have to go. Ish says, stay vigilant, friend. Okay, let's talk to Captain Colt. Hello there. Tell me about the Wintertodt. Ignacia claims it's some kind of evil spirit. You don't believe her? Nah, I believe in things I can stab and kill. This is all just a storm in a teacup. How can wind and snow be evil? My toad is more of a threat. Oh, so the Wintertodt belongs to Captain Colt. Cute. Your toad? Yeah, just a bit of fun. I have a pet. He's around here somewhere, assuming that troublesome cat hasn't eaten him. And I don't even remember where the cat is around here. I see it now. Okay, we'll have to go examine that cat after. It's a bit weird, but okay. No weirder than being scared of snow. Tell me about yourself, I say. I'm Captain Colt, proud member of the Shazian army. Okay, so that's from the House of Shazian, also in Great Corrend. How long have you been a soldier, I ask. Man and boy, I've worn the uniform, earned captain a few years back, and never looked back. Not too happy about babysitting delusional wizards, though, but orders is orders. Alright. Oh, and now I can say, tell me how I'm doing. I'm assuming that's like information about my performance in the minigame. So I'm going to say that. Tell me how I'm doing. Ignacia appears to be quite happy with you. You've subdued the Wintertodt 49 times. Oh, I should do it one more time, then it'll be 50. My lifetime score is 41,210, and my highest score is 1,025. I'm going to say, see you later. Goodbye. Alright, there is a dwarf here by an anvil holding a hammer, and their name is Undor. If I examine them... Oh, I should examine Captain Colt. It says he knows nothing. Examine Ish the Navigator, a keen navigator and conspiracy theorist. And did I examine Esther? Oh no, she likes trees and stuff. If I examine the Winter Soldier... Oh yeah, it said he really isn't dressed for this weather. So, if I examine Undor, it says he believes he's the greatest smith on Gielinor. Alright. Undor says, hello there. Tell me about the Wintertodt. They say it's some kind of powerful fire spirit. Don't you mean ice? Aye, that as well. What it is doesn't bother me, just as long as we keep it behind the doors. Tell me about the Doors of Din. The doors were built by Din to contain the Wintertodt. This was over 1,000 years ago, and they still stand today. And you might remember that in a previous episode, which one was that? We were exploring the educational system of Gielinor, and we found the bards just outside the castle of Great Corrend, and some of the bards that were stationed there in just a camp, the bards from the Bards College of Barlamore, they were like, one of them I think said, I can't remember if they said they composed the song Doors of Din, that actually appears in the game when you're here, or if they said that they knew someone or they talked about someone who composed it, but we kind of commented on that in that episode. But this person says they were built by Din to contain the Wintertodt. This was over 1,000 years ago, and they still stand today. Who was Din? Din was the greatest smith that the world has ever seen. I am the finest smith around today, and even I cannot match his abilities. Well, I'm going to say, tell me about yourself. The name's Undor. You'll struggle to find a dwarf in this land who knows more about metalwork than me. One day I hope to be as good as the legendary Din himself. What are you doing here? I'm just here to keep an eye on things. Even though the doors are fixed now, it will take many years for things to get back to normal. Alright, I'm going to say goodbye. Undor says until next time. And there is a pyromancer here who's hovering over the ground, kind of levitating. Their name is Ignicia. I examine them and it says kissed by fire, so let us talk to them. Welcome back, my child. How may I be of assistance? Tell me about the Wintertodt. Do you feel the winds of winter as they lick across the land? This is the power of the Wintertodt. We know not what it is, nor from where it came, only that it wields the power of winter itself. The ground on which we stand was once full of light, full of life, but then the Wintertodt came. Now the fires of these lands burn no more. How else may I be of assistance? Tell me about the pyromancers. We are the Order of the Sacred Flame, formed over 1,000 years ago when the Wintertodt first threatened Great Kurend. We fought against the Wintertodt until we managed to lure it behind Din's great doors. Our task did not end there, though, for we always knew that the Wintertodt would arise again. How else may I be of assistance? Tell me about yourself. I am Ignicia, Grand Master of the Order of the Sacred Flame. I have served our order faithfully since I passed the trials of fire before the ascent of Arceus. How else may I be of assistance? What can I do to help? Wintertodt is no longer growing in strength, but still needs to be held back. Head into the prison and keep the holy fires lit so that our order may keep the evil at bay. How can I do that? You will find the roots of the great bruma tree have crept into the prison. Chop the roots and use them to keep the sacred flame alive. Anything else? You can use the herbs of the bruma tree to make rejuvenation potions. Give these to any of our order who fall to the cold of the Wintertodt before they succumb to the darkness. How else may I be of assistance? I'm fine, thanks. May the sacred flame guide you, my child. Alright, well, we are being directly told to do an activity, so I think that means we should do an activity. I just need to have 4 pieces of warm clothing to be able to do this. I need to wield my Incando hammer, have my fletching knife in my inventory. I'm putting all the other things away in my inventory. And I need, so I should wear a Slayer helmet. Oops, that's the wrong one. That's a piece of warm clothing. Wear that. I hope I have the rest. I hope I have more warm clothing in my inventory so I don't have to go get it from my house. Oh, I do. I have 3 pieces of pyromancer gear, so I'm going to wear those. Pretty awesome. And that'll give me, I think, increased fire making XP. But unfortunately I don't have... But then that means I don't have 4 pieces, because that hood of the pyromancer gear, I only have 3 pieces so far. And the hood took the place of my Slayer helmet, so I need something else. And I'm going to hope that insulated boots... I mean, they sound like they would keep me warm, so I'm going to hope that those will. And just in case, I'm going to wear the Ardougne cloak. Oh, I mean, it's got like a nice plush hood on it, which I always loved the look of, by the way. It looks so comfortable. I kind of want one to wear AFK, but like outside the game. But I'm going to hope that that's enough. And then I have a little... Oh yeah, the bruma torch in my hand. Oh, I have the Ring of the Elements. That's also warm clothing. So just in case the other ones don't count, I know that one does. I need my Dragon Axe. Oh, that's what I wield. And then I have the Incando hammer in my inventory as well for repairing the brazier. And then let's get some strawberry baskets. We only need a couple because we're only going to do 1 game of this. So to be able to start Desert Treasure 2, I had to get 75 fire making, so that's why I've done like a fair amount of Wintertodt. A fair amount, I mean I've only done 49 games total, but that's why. Alright, before we go in though, we have to examine this cat that, I think Captain Cald mentioned. Here it is. The cat. Examine cat. Making trouble around the cat. Around the camp. Let's talk to the cat. Hello, puss. Cat says, want a mouse? No thanks, I say. Want this half-dead bird? No. Want this crunched-up spider? Not really. Oh well, got any tuna? No. Humph. Okay, but what if I actually do have tuna? What does the cat say then? Do I have tuna on me? Yes, I have raw tuna. Hopefully that'll count. So let's talk to the cat one more time. Want a mouse? No. Half-dead bird? No. Crunched up spider? Not really. Got any tuna? I say no. Maybe it has to be cooked, but that doesn't make sense. Well, just in case... Do I have any logs? Can I make a fire and cook this tuna really quick just to test this? I don't have any logs. Unless I have some in my log basket. So let's empty that. Empty. Okay, I do have a bunch of magic logs. So grab my tinderbox and cook up this tuna to see if we can feed the cat with it. Okay, so I'm making a fire with the magic logs, and now I'm going to use the raw tuna on the fire, and I cook the tuna. Great. That was definitely a waste of magic logs, but they're the only ones I had right here, so whatever. And I'm going to fill the log basket and put it back away, and then I will get also a raw tuna back out of the bank because I want to be able to use both on the cat. Okay, so here's the cat. Let's talk to the cat one more time, see if I say yes. Now that I have a cooked tuna. Okay, got any tuna? Why, yes, I do have some tuna. Awesome, I didn't know that if you cook it, it'll actually give it to the cat, but I wanted to try. Why, yes, I do have some tuna. Give, purr. Give tuna to the cat, yes. You give some tuna to the cat, it devours it and purrs loudly. Catch toad for me. What? I think not. Oh, I liked that. That was really cool. Okay, so let's go in here and let's do this. I think I have everything I need. I guess I should go onto a Wintertodt world, so I'm not doing it alone, because the game would take really long if I was doing it alone. So let's go onto a world that's very full, and do a round of this minigame before, I think we're going to call it on this episode, but the reason I really do want to do this minigame, in addition to being told to by an NPC in the process of the scavenger hunt, is that it was nice the last time I did the scavenger hunt that we end with a reward, because I feel like that's part of the genre of the scavenger hunt is to get some sort of reward. And so I want to do a game, get some reward points, and then claim the rewards from the chest, and during the recording, do that so I can see what I got, and then, celebrate that, and then just wrap up the episode from there. But unfortunately, this game is in progress and not going to be done for a little while, so I'm going to pause and let you know when I'm ready to do the minigame. Okay, the game ended, so we're in the waiting period until the next game starts, and while we wait, I'm going to examine the quiescent snowstorm, which is the dormant Wintertodt, and it says vortex is less furious. I think once we start the game it'll say something else, so I'll try to examine it then too. But I'm going to run to my favorite spot, which is to the northeast, and get ready to start the minigame. And so the way this minigame works is you start by chopping roots from the bruma tree, then you fletch them into kindling, and then you use the kindling on these burning braziers. There's 4 of them in the room, and when you do, it sends out these fireballs that decreases the Wintertodt energy. And now the game's starting, so I'm going to light the brazier at the beginning and chop the bruma roots And if I examine the Howling Snowstorm, it says, the vortex spins furiously as the cold pierces through your bones. And when the game started, I immediately took some cold damage, so that's why I brought strawberries, because I need food to heal my, kind of like the cold damage to my total warmth, which is basically like a health bar for the minigame. And then, because if it drops to 0, then you die in the minigame and it boots you out of it. So you have to keep your health, which in the minigame is called warmth, you have to keep it high. So my inventory's full of bruma roots, and now I use my fletching knife on them to fletch them all into bruma kindling. And the reason you do that is because, but of course it pauses you every time you get hit by cold, which is pretty annoying, because then you have to reactivate the action to start. See, I did it again, to start fletching, and it just keeps canceling me. That's one of the things I find most annoying about this minigame. But the reason you fletch them into kindling is because it gives you more points. And you need to reach a certain threshold of points, I think it's 500, to be able to get rewards. And so the more fletching you do, the brazier went out. It got knocked out. The burning fire got knocked out by the Wintertodt, so I had to relight it. And so if you use kindling on the fire instead of roots, then it gives you more points. So there's about time for kind of 2 inventories full of kindling, and now I'm using them on the brazier, and that's the thing that actually gives me the points. And so I have time for about 2 inventories before the minigame's over. So we have 300 points right now, so we're definitely going to be able to hit 500 before the minigame's over, and then have 1 set of rewards to get, and then we'll wrap up this episode. And there we go, 500 points already, actually, just from 1 inventory. But the Wintertodt has about 35% energy left now, and so as soon as it goes to 0, the minigame's over. And I got interrupted by the cold. Oh, but now the brazier actually got broken, so that's why I use my hammer to fix the brazier, and now all the kindling I put in there. Whoops, almost. There we go. And then I go and I chop more roots, and I don't think my performance was great because I was talking at the same time for this game. So, probably not going to get great points, but that's fine. Oh, but I am close to dying, so I need to eat a strawberry. I'm going to remove 1 more to eat another just to keep myself alive. I'm going to start fletching these roots just to make sure I have some kindling to add, but there's not a lot of time left, unfortunately. Okay, I'm going to chop some more roots. And I really should head over now back to the brazier so I can use all my roots before the minigame's over. I might have not done this totally optimally. Maybe I should have stayed for a few more, but no, I think that's about it. Yep. I think I timed it pretty well. I should be able to use most, if not all, of my kindling before the minigame's over. But the brazier went out, so we have to take a moment to light it, and then back to putting the roots in. I have 3 left, and there's 5% energy left, and 3%, 2% energy left. I'm out of roots, but that's fine for this time. I got 900 points, and yeah, that's pretty good, because I gained, oh great, a couple things. It's good because I gained enough points to get 3 rewards from the reward card. I think I normally get between 2 and 4, so 3 is pretty good for kind of an average number of points. And then now I can claim rewards. But before I do, I want to acknowledge that now that I did this minigame, my Wintertodt count is 50. And when I checked my stats earlier with Captain Cult, I said, oh, I got 49 completions, I should do 50. So this was nice because it got me to 50 completions, which is a nice round number to end this episode on. And I just think there's some really nice synergies in how this episode unfolded. We went to the Polar Hunter area. We got the Snowy Night butterfly, and then I was like, where am I going to go to find a Snowy Night? I was like, maybe the games necklace will give a clue. And I get teleported directly next to a Winter Soldier, which is like perfect. And then I have 49 completions, and I'm like being told by one of the NPCs to do this because they're telling me about the minigame. I'm like, I guess I better do one round of the minigame, and now I've got a nice round number for my Wintertodt completions. And I've also got 3 rewards. And speaking of rewards, it just said in the chat that someone got the fire-making pet just now from the reward cart. They got the Phoenix, which is this fire bird that flies behind you, and so they got this really rare pet from the game, maybe even from the game I just did. And so that's really cool for them, so I wish them congratulations along with like 4 other people. I don't think that's going to happen for us when we check the card, but hopefully I get something good. It'd be nice if I got one of the remaining pieces of the Pyromancer set, but I only have 3 rewards, so it's probably not going to be anything great. But there are a couple of drops on the ground of dynamite, so we might want to check. And some other valuable drops, so we'll examine those as well before we sign off here. But let's search the reward cart. I got 3 rewards I can claim. One is 2,947 coins, and then 2,626 coins and 2 uncut diamonds. So nothing great, no like collection log items, nothing rare, but a little bit of money, just a bit. So that is it for the Wintertodt, and let's go to the Grand Exchange and let's examine. I don't really want to examine the U logs and the teak logs that I just picked up off the ground and the dynamite, but I guess I'll examine the dynamite. What does it say? Okay, if I examine dynamite, it says a pot of dynamite for blast mining with a fuse ready to light. I'm going to hold on to one of those in my Cozy Old School RuneScape lore tab of my bank, because that might be a good thing for us to start off on the next scavenger hunt episode I do. Maybe I can try blast mining for the first time, which I don't think I've ever done. I think that's a thing in the game. Let me look that up. Blast mining. Is that in like Lovacaine? Yeah. Okay, so maybe in the next scavenger hunt we start with a pot of dynamite, do a little bit of blast mining, and go from there. Okay, so first I need to sell everything I picked up, all the rewards I got, and then see how much money I made from all this. Alright, so I got like a cash stack of 17k from one game of Wintertodt, along with just some things that dropped on the ground, so that's kind of nice. Oh yeah, the orange boater I picked up is worth 2,717k, the black elegant legs are worth 1,500, not K, it's 2,717 GP, and the black legs are 1,575 GP. So that's nice. And then the Kebbit fur is worth 280 GP. The staff is worth just 7 GP, so I'll make a little bit extra from selling this stuff. Let's see how much that is. Oh, those 2 things aren't selling, which is probably why that person dropped them in the first place, those 2 clothing pieces. But I'll just put this stuff up on the Grand Exchange and eventually it'll sell. But there we go. I think that's going to do it for this episode of Cozy Old School RuneScape Lore. This was fun. I really liked how kind of the things I did synergized. Polar Hunter area to Wintertodt area, and then to doing an actual minigame. Not so many steps in the scavenger hunt this time, but a nice kind of chunk of Wintertodt lore, and a nice little overview of the minigame there in one game played. So I'm pretty happy with that. But that's all I've got for this episode. So I'm going to say I hope you have such a good evening and that you sleep so well. And I'll say good night and goodbye for now.